Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel called zuzanareacts, where I learn all things para with your help. And today it's one of the videos of series of me experiencing the Indian culture just through the lens of people experiencing this culture in real life. And there's a video of a guy that has done a motorbike ride, and we're going to look at this together. I am just super curious because it kind of reminds me of that Sadhguru motorbike trip. So let's see what we have to learn today. But before we do,
please like this video and click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification. Thank you so much for your support.
Right, let's kick this video right off.
I fell in love with motorbiking at the age of 19 during my very first trip in Southeast Asia. And since then, it's basically become my biggest hobby in life. So throughout all these years, I kept hearing about this mountain pass in India that's called Khardung, which they told me was by far the highest road in the world. I did some research and it isn't, but that doesn't matter. It's still incredibly high. It's way higher than 5 kilometers above sea level, which is insane. Trust me. Either way, initially thought I was going to do this trip alone, but then two of my friends decided to join me, which was absolutely amazing. So the first guy is my boy Vaidas from Lithuania, with whom we've been motorbiking for quite a while all around the world. And the second friend is Dev from India. He's a really famous iPhone photographer from Mumbai. Even though we haven't spent too much time together before this trip, I was really happy for him to come along because he's a cool guy. This trip was definitely the best motorbike trip in my entire life. And even though we got into a crazy snowstorm at the top of Khardung, I was really happy I did it, and I'll basically remember it forever. So without further ado, this is how it looked. At the beginning of our trip, we all met up in the capital of India, New Delhi. We only had a couple of hours to explore this beautiful city, and then we hopped on a really crowded long-haul night bus. Oh man, there's so many people in here. It's crazy. We spent the whole night driving towards Manali, which is a very well-known Himalayan hill station situated at 2,050 meters above sea level. Oh, we're finally here. Manali, my friend. After 14 hours on the bus, eh? Manali is a staging point for a number of treks and extreme mountain sports, such as river rafting. Wow. However, we didn't have time for that. We came here because Manali was the starting point of our motorbike ride to Ladakh. We spent the afternoon trying out the local delicacies and hanging out with the really cool local people. Spending the day in Manali was a lot of fun, but it was nothing compared to what we were about to experience when the big day finally came. It is 7 a.m. in the morning. We just got two bikes. There's one here and one over there. And we're finally leaving Manali. You excited, man?
Yeah, bro.
What about yourself, my friend? Hungry. In order to keep Ladakh clean, the local government decided to limit the number of allowed vehicles to 1,000 per day.
Oh, wow.
Even though that's an absolutely wonderful idea, it caused immensely long traffic jams. We're in the middle of the mountains in a huge traffic jam. There's a large truck right here. There's cars for like 5 kilometers or 10 kilometers. Hey, we need to go.
Wow, you know what? When I'm looking at those videos of people travel, it does feel like India is very crowded. Very crowded.
It took us hours to reach the checkpoint, but once we got through, the roads became almost empty and we were finally surrounded by breathtaking mountain views all around us. Eventually, we reached the Rohtang Pass, which was situated at 3,978 meters above sea level and was the first mountain pass of our motorbike trip. The locals told us the pass had a well-deserved reputation for being dangerous because of unpredictable snowstorms and blizzards. But when we were there, the sky was clear, the weather was perfect, and the views, well, they were out of this world beautiful.
This is completely out of this world, you guys. Like I love it. Just what since he's a motorbiker, I've been to the US, I've been to California. We traveled from Vegas to San Francisco through Yosemite, and it felt like really high latitude. And funny enough, the reason why this memory comes back to me is because there is lots of Harley Davidson fans, like fleets of people motorbiking through Yosemite I've never seen before. So clearly it's a thing. People like to bike through mountains. But let's continue.
It's too good to be true. Look at it. And it's only the first pass we're doing. We've still got many to go. I love it. Then we continued riding forward, and even though the views kept getting better, the roads kept getting worse. Just as we finally got used to the roads, we ran into some more delicate issues.
Vida's right here. He can't wait to the next stop. He needs to go to the bathroom urgently.
And the bathroom is the nature, man.
It's not.
I think there's plenty of shit here because everyone does it here.
Everyone does it here, yeah?
Yeah, but man,
You won't be the first, eh?
Man, everyone's gonna see me.
No, it's fine. I mean,
From there, everyone's gonna see me.
you gotta do what you gotta do. That's all I can say. It's the most interesting shot, but I have to stop it right here.
That, of course, didn't stop us, and we continued our trip further into the Himalayas, crossing mountain bridges, overtaking large trucks, taking short rest breaks, passing through breathtaking valleys, testing our limits on the narrow dirt roads, and obviously making sure we didn't run out of gas.
Apparently, we're at a place where the next filling station is 365 kilometers away.
Wow.
In these mountains. Everyone's filling up gas, all the trucks, all the cars, all the motorbikes. There's only one gas pump right here. So everyone's waiting in line to fill up gas.
Wow, this gas probably was very.
As evening approached and we thought the worst was over, we faced this.
First time.
Apparently, the snow was melting at the top of the mountain, which made a river that flooded 15 meters of the road we had to pass. And that, obviously, wasn't as easy as you might think.
Hey there.
Yeah, bro. Look at this crazy, crazy mountain river. We just passed it from that side to this side right here. And so everyone got totally soaked. I, fortunately, didn't touch the ground at least once, but my main man Vidas did many times.
Despite getting our shoes wet and it becoming pitch black dark, we kept on riding our bikes for another hour and a half until we finally reached our home for the night.
Hi. Hold on. Man, you're a legend. Tonight we decided to stay at a really awesome tent that's massive.
Wow.
You don't really have electricity. It's all powered by a generator that's outside. They have these huge mattresses, which is where we're going to be sleeping. And there they have a kitchen. And right now they're preparing our dinner, literally inside this tent. Vidas, you want to have some?
Wow.
Yeah, man. We're really freaking tired. I think we have to be proud of ourselves.
Yes.
And now we're here drinking tea, and now we're gonna have some really, really good food. I hope so.
The dinner wasn't the best, but we were so hungry we couldn't have been more satisfied. The next morning, we woke up at 6 a.m., brushed our teeth, hopped on our bikes, and left for another day full of adventures. Our first mountain pass of the day was called Paralachala, and it was situated at 4,890 meters above sea level.
Today we're going to pass at least 3 different mountain passes, and this is just the first.
Wow.
It looks so good though.
It was becoming increasingly difficult to breathe, and the weather kept getting colder.
Oh.
But we were so excited we didn't care about any of that and continued riding. We were really short on time as we wanted to reach Leh later that evening. However, we couldn't resist taking stops every few kilometers. I mean, the views were just too good to be true.
It is the end of June, and I'm walking on snow. Dude, I love summers in the Himalayas. How can you not? Summertime, and the living is easy.
It's so cold. It's just getting cold.
I
It's
see your
getting
point.
freezing, bro.
I see your point.
We were driving through multiple high mountain passes, incredibly beautiful highways, cow-made traffic jams, tiny mountain villages, rivers, and obviously massive herds of sheep.
We're currently on one of the most beautiful highways I've ever driven on in my entire life. And we just discovered a herd of hundreds of sheep. So I think that's a good opportunity to make friends with the sheep. Let's try. Yeah, I want to make friends. I want to make friends. No one wants to make friends, eh? Everyone's running away from me. Life's unfair.
At some point, my boy Dev managed to drop our GoPro camera in the middle of the road, and we lost all hope of recovering it. However, 2 truck drivers picked it up and gave it back to us, which made us realize how good the people of the mountains really were. While crossing one of the mountain passes that day, we ran into 4 travelers from Lithuania, Viktoras, Augustas, Julius, and Marius. It was incredibly weird meeting them there because Lithuania is such a tiny country. But here we were, kilometers above sea level, somewhere in the high Himalayas, all riding bikes. It was destiny.
We just stopped for a break, and we're so tired now. I mean, the last 100 kilometers or so, they've been insane. All across those mountains, those huge mountains. My hands are shaking. I mean, I can hardly feel them now because I'm so stiff all the time. Look at the engine. My pants and my shoes look even better. They're all muddy. However, I'm super happy, man, because it's so beautiful. Everywhere we go, literally every turn is better than the last one. And the last one was already very good.
It's a really, really hard ride, and it tests your limits.
But do you like it at least?
Yeah, man, I love it. I love it. Except the diarrhea.
As night approached and we were crossing the highest pass of the day, it became increasingly and alarmingly cold.
I just put my gloves on because I can't take it anymore. The sun's gonna set fully in about 30 minutes from right now.
The Taglangla Pass is the world's 12th highest motorable pass. It stands at 5,358 meters above sea level, which is actually 23 meters higher than the base camp of Mount Everest. So, as you can imagine, it definitely wasn't warm there late into the evening.
This is the top of the highest pass we're gonna cross today. It's at 17,500 something feet, which is over 5 kilometers. All the mountain tops which we're gonna pass right now are also covered in snow and ice. It's gonna be completely dark. There's no street lighting. It's super, super cold. And our destination is still 100 kilometers away of mountain roads. That is insane. But it's beautiful, eh?
If we were smart, we would have stopped to sleep right after we crossed the pass. However, we weren't smart. We kept on riding the remaining 108 kilometers to the city of Leh and arrived there incredibly late at night, having driven for over 15 hours that day.
Wow.
We finally arrived to Leh. It's 11 minutes after 11 p.m. at night. We started at 8 a.m., which means we're driving for over 15 hours. So our average speed was around 20 kilometers an hour. It's actually less, even though we're driving as fast as we could, man. We're so tired. I wanna have some food. I wanna sleep. It's crazy, man.
Leh is a small mountain town in the Indian Himalayas that used to be an important trade route between Tibet, India, and China for centuries, and has since become a popular tourist destination attracting thousands of adventurous travelers every year. It's also the last town before our main destination, the Khardung mountain pass.
It is 6 a.m. in the morning, and we're super tired. But today we're gonna go to the highest road in the world. It stands at about 5,690 meters or something like this, which is insane. I'm very tired, but I'm super happy.
Getting out of Leh was easy as it's a small town, but going up the mountain proved to be a lot more difficult. There were a lot of holes, mud, and snow we had to pass through. Sometimes we'd get into weird situations where two cars on the road could hardly pass since the road was incredibly narrow. Nonetheless, all of us were determined to finally reach the very top of Khardung and slowly progress towards the top.
Wow. This is insane.
3 hours later, we finally arrived.
That's it. We just came to the top of the highest road in the world. It stands at 5,660 meters above sea level, which is cool. I'm very tired and my nose is running. I have a headache, but we're here. Let's go check out the sign. Here's the sign. It's 18,380 feet above sea level.
Nice.
How are you feeling, man?
So I wouldn't say this was the hardest pass to come up to, but the feeling when reaching it, I think it's the best of the 8 or 7 or whatever passes we made.
Die best.
I know this was our Everest
Yes.
of trekking, of bike trekking.
There's many people on this hill fighting in snow and stuff.
So colorful. Like, why do you have these garlic? Why is it there?
It obviously required a lot of effort to get up to the top of the Khardung Pass, and we thought the worst was already behind us. But we were completely wrong. We could never have imagined what awaited us just a few days later on exactly the same roads. But for now, we didn't know about any of that and happily made our way downhill towards the notoriously beautiful Nubra Valley.
I love motorbiking in the Himalayas. There's hardly anything better.
You know, I was one.
We spent hours riding through gorgeous mountain roads, massive valleys, and a couple of sand dunes. In one of them, we were hit by a strong sandstorm that came upon us incredibly fast and fortunately died down a couple of minutes later. Then we continued riding and reached the Nubra Valley late into the afternoon.
Wow.
The next day, we made our way to the Diskit Monastery, which was the largest and the oldest monastery in the Nubra Valley that was established in the 14th century. Since it's so remote, there were hardly any tourists there, and thus we could get a glimpse of the daily lives of the Buddhist monks living and practicing in the monastery.
It's raining. It's our first rainstorm throughout the whole trip, and we're still in the monastery. Oh.
We wanted to visit a lot more places around the Nubra Valley and even go to the border with Pakistan, but the roads were closed as it had been snowing very heavily and they all got flooded. So the locals told us to head back across the Khardung Pass as soon as we could because we might not be able to do so just a day later. Alarmed, we left. When we arrived to the initial checkpoint leading to the Khardung Pass, the military had a roadblock and didn't let anyone through.
Oh, wow.
We didn't think it was that big of a deal and simply sneaked through. The further we drove, the colder it became. At first, we could hardly feel the rain. Some minutes later, it became much heavier. A few more minutes later, it began snowing.
It is currently snowing. It's very misty. It's also raining at the same time. It's extremely cold to ride because your hands are in the front, your gloves are completely soaked. And so my hands are shivering. I cannot feel my fingers, man. And now we're going back to the highest pass in the world. And it's somewhere there, dude. We're very far. Dev is filming me, man. He's shivering like crazy. And we're not exaggerating. This is insane.
I'm prepared. I
Yeah.
knew this is gonna happen, man.
Yeah.
I knew this was gonna happen.
Look, there's snow on his hair, man. It's insane. My gloves are water. Either way, this is part of the adventure. So we're on the way, man.
Oh my god.
Eventually, we found ourselves completely surrounded by snow and ice on all sides. Nevertheless, we continued making progress bit by bit, meter by meter, and turn by turn.
I don't know when was the last time I felt as cold as I'm feeling right now. There's ice and water everywhere. I don't really know if we can do this. I think it could be a bit too dangerous. I can't see Vitus and Dev. I think they're lost somewhere. I don't know where they are. I'm alone.
Ooh.
The other group is lost also. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do.
Oh my god. This is crazy. Like, I think the military was there for a reason, to help people.
What's up, Jay? How you feeling, dude?
This is the craziest bike ride of my entire life, man.
I
I
think
never feel anything. We need to stop every 1 second.
Gasta?
Push the bikes. It's insane, man.
Our motorbikes kept falling down literally every few minutes as it was incredibly slippery. At first, we were able to pick them up alone, but the higher up we went, the harder it became as it was increasingly difficult to breathe, and we became completely exhausted.
why did we do this to ourselves, huh?
Get up. Oh, yeah, it's so good.
To make matters worse, at some point, Dev started breathing really heavily and collapsed. I ran to melt some snow for him while Vidas got some medicine against altitude sickness called Diamox, and we gave it to him as soon as we could. Luckily, he recovered.
Whoa.
I can't have to get up alone.
Push it, Mikey. That's not a joke.
Later on, two military cars passed us on the road and told us we were absolutely mad to be riding bikes on those roads. However, 20 minutes later, they were grateful we were there, as they got stuck in the snow and needed our help to shovel them out. As we were nearing the top of the Khardung Pass, the military personnel that were stationed at the top got down the mountain, picked up their bulldozer, and went uphill at an attempt to clean the roads, which was supposed to make our ride much easier.
Oh my goodness, we could not have done it without the bulldozer.
However, it didn't. None at all. Every single meter was just as hard as the last one.
Same shit, man. Same shit.
That being said, we didn't give up and continued going forward. Eventually, after hours of riding, we made it to the very top and our 4 friends joined us some 15 minutes later.
We were here a few days ago, right there. It took us 3 or 4 hours to ride the last 2 kilometers. It's insane. But I think there's very few people that have encountered this weather right here and made it to the other side, which we did.
Wow.
Then we had some much needed food and drinks at the military base and did all we could to dry our clothes at least a little bit.
Oh my god.
An hour later, it was time to go downhill because the evening was approaching and staying up at that elevation once it got dark was a total suicide. Our average speed was painstakingly slow, but we continued making progress. At first, we were surrounded by snow and ice. Then the snow began melting and we were driving in a never-ending muddy river.
I'm so happy driving on this river because there's no ice anymore, which means we're not falling down every 10 meters. It's perfect. We're completely soaked. It's very cold. It is raining and snowing at the same time, but we're happy, man. I mean, it's not so dangerous anymore. And we're on the way.
Eventually, after another few hours of driving, we finally hit the concrete road. Even though it kept raining and it was incredibly cold, we couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, look at my hands. They're almost blue. Look at these. Huh?
Dude.
Wow.
However, without the gloves, it's better than with the gloves.
Yeah.
They're wet.
Finally, all this time later, we came back to the city of Leh, which we had just left a few days ago, feeling dramatically different from how we felt right now.
We just came back to Leh, and I'm in my hotel room after many hours of riding my bike in the rain and the snow without any proper waterproof gear. Now, obviously, me and the 6 other people, we feel like crap. We feel terrible at this very moment. But I know that a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, literally all of my life, when I look back to this day, I'll think it was a hell of a trip. And that is exactly why these tiny downsides, or huge downsides even, are worth it. So I'm just gonna take my clothes off, go take that hot shower, go have dinner with my friends, and be happy. And be happy with today.
Right. Oh my god. What a message. Life is short. Like, enjoy it. But like, wow. I mean, I watched it just for the people experience, and I always wanted to visit the Himalayas. It's kind of on a bucket list. Like, it's just so gorgeous. It is I mean, I loved it. It's nice to watch it through other person's experience and story, which is a bit crazy. I feel like these guys feel like at the end of the trip they were lucky to be alive, but man, it's beautiful. Like, wow. I mean, I don't know if I would want to go on such an adventurous journey. I'm more of a creature of comfort in that sense, but like of a nice trip, and just the scenery is out of this world, like so gorgeous. And man, I can't wait to go. I think this will be it for today's video. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up, share, like, and subscribe to this video. And I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, please do take care. Sending much love. Bye-bye.